Hello and welcome. We're going to look at a common problem today that students have when they are trying to type in math answers into a computer. So let's take a problem such as this right here. Let's say that we have 3x cubed plus 7x squared minus 4x plus 1. Now, it's real simple to write this when you have a tablet or a program that allows you to write with a stylus or even with your finger. It's awesome because you can write out what you're trying to write out. But a lot of times when we're answering problems on the computer, we don't have access to that. All we can do is type in the answer. Now, some keyboards, we're very lucky, some keyboards actually have what they call a superscript functionality. This is the exponent, the superscript. So where I wrote 3x cubed, that cubed, as I typed it in, I did a superscript, so it would kind of push it up a little bit higher. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go and say plus 7x, and now I'm going to do my superscript again, and you're going to see when I do that, it pushes that squared up to make it a little bit higher to indicate that it's an exponent. It's awesome if you have a keyboard that has that functionality where you can type that all in just as I did here. But not every keyboard has that functionality. Sometimes we have to find a way to be able to type this in where we can represent an exponent but not have that superscript. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. We have a lot of students who are working right now in digital learning environments, and they're doing this non-traditional way of learning. And so we have to find workarounds for these problems. If I need to represent an exponent, but my keyboard doesn't give me a superscript, what do? Well, here's your answer. So first I'm going to type in my 3x. Super easy to do, no problem. Then I'm going to look for this up arrow looking character. It's called a caret, that you can see right there. There's my caret, and whatever comes after that is my exponent. So there is 3x cubed. All right, so then I'm going to hit my plus. I'm going to put in my 7x, and now I need a squared. So again, let's assume I don't have that superscript function. I'm going to go back and find that up arrow or that caret character, and that can represent 7x squared. Behind that, I can easily put my minus 4x, and then lastly my plus 1. So what I want to show you here is kind of how these things correlate. So we started off by writing them. So here was my 3x squared. Super simple to do if you have a stylus and you can write. Here it is where I typed it in on a keyboard that had a superscript, which is fabulous. But my bottom row here, I didn't have a keyboard with a superscript, so I had to find an alternative. And what you can see is that all three of these are the same thing. They all represent 3x cubed. So let's look at my 7x squared. Here it is where I wrote it out. Awesome, super easy. Here I wrote it, I typed it in using a keyboard that had the superscript. Looks just like you would see it typed into anything else. Might see it in a textbook that way, or maybe on a quiz that way. This bottom example shows what it looks like if you don't have the superscript. And again, these three things are the same. They're all ways to represent an exponent. So if you find as you're typing in answers into maybe a Google Classroom assignment, or maybe you're doing an activity in quizzes or Nearpod or whatever the online learning environment that you're working in, if you need to represent an exponent and you don't have a way to do that on your keyboard, this little up arrow caret will give you a way to do that. I hope you found this information helpful.